Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamitas. Suki Hotu. I'm Aliana, and once again, welcome to the Sutta discussion, day 7 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima, currently is a senior advisor at Ti-Ratana, Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginners as well as expert students in learning Dharma in a variety of ways. You can check on Ti-Ratana with the link www.ti-ratana.blogspot.com. Bhante Dr. Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jaya Wardenepura in Sri Lanka. Bhante was a former visiting research fellow in University of Victoria, Canada, and also served as Theravada Buddhist chaplain in the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. Welcome, Bhante. Thank you very much for the talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everybody. Today, our number is not that high, but it's okay because we know that sometimes we have to expect turnout to be different. So, how's your week so far? Since last Friday, it's been good. Okay, great. So, shall we start by paying homage to Buddha? Namo Tassa Bhagavata. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Great. So we have discussed almost 6 stanzas in the Maṅgala Sutta. As you can see, the number that we have done studying was, I guess, 18. That means we have done 18 Maṅgala factors, auspicious factors. So today we have to continue from number 19. So let me ask somebody who is there to read today's stanza. I think Hema, he already recited. Abhi, if there's nobody, probably you might recite. How about PGT? You wanna try today? You wanna try verse number 7?
Okay,
This is,
I'll try.
Page number 13. Yeah, always. Yeah, we all hear you.
Is it the one starting with Arati?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Arati virati papa. Majapana cha samyamo. Apamado cha damesu. Etam Maṅgala Muttamam.
Great. You made it. You did it.
At least I give it a try.
Yeah, always trying is the best thing. Because that's how we learn from Buddhism. Okay, let me recite too. Arati virati papa. Majjapanacha sanyamo. Now actually you can say sanyamo, but here it's called sanyamo. Appamadocha dhammesu etang Maṅgala Muttamam. Now, on the surface, we can see that there are 3 blessings or 3 Maṅgala factors in this stanza. Arati virati papa is one Maṅgala factor. Majjapanacha sanyamo is the second Maṅgala factor here. And appamadocha dhammesu is the third one. So, altogether, there are 3 Maṅgala factors within this verse number 7. That means in the whole sutta, we can say the numbers go this way from 19 to 2021. 19, 20, 21. Okay, so let's get into the Pali words. The first one, Arati, Virati, Papa. Okay, can anybody guess what Papa means? I think you know that. I just wanted to make sure that what you want to say. What is Papa here? Not Papa, right? There are a lot of Papas out there. Papa. What is Papa?
Evil deeds, Bhante?
Yeah, evil deeds. There are a lot of translations for Papa. Now we can say bad activities or evil activities. So they could be done by the mind, the speech, by the body. So now the thing here is that there are two verbs or two things that we need to do to get this blessing. That means Arati, Virati for Papa. So what does Arati mean? Any idea? Arati?
To cease?
Yeah, that's what we can see in the translation. Now, I wanted to read Arati in the commentary so you can understand very well. Arati nama papi adinava dasavino manasa eva anabirati. That means Arati means looking at the bad karma, looking at the bad karma of the particular bad activity, you try to avoid with your thoughts. Now, before that happens, even with your actions, speech, you try to avoid that particular evil activity from your mind, right? So Arati means being able to remove the thoughts in doing akusala or papa activities. Is that an easy thing? Or is it the best thing to do when it comes to a papa, bad action or bad word? Let's say that some people can make this happen. So they probably be vocal, probably be acting upon those thoughts. But here it says, once the thought is going to arise and you particularly observe the thought and then you remove it from the thought itself, from the mind itself. So that means Arati. Pali it says, one more time I can read that. Arati nama papi adinava dasavino. How can we do that? How is it possible to avoid from a thought? Because your thoughts know this is gonna lead to a bad repercussion, bad karma. So your thoughts know that. A lot of people, they don't know. Once they're gonna do it only, they probably understand the bad karma, the bad activity. But if you develop your mind over time, your thoughts know that, your mind knows that this will lead to a bad karma. So now Arati means then the first half of the first Maṅgala factor in this stanza is that you are trying to remove evil thoughts before it becomes a papa. Then what is Virati? Virati nama kammadwara vasena kaya vach. I mean, I know that you can't write down what I'm saying here, but just write down the English meaning. That's enough. I don't need to bother worry about the Pali here, because you didn't come here to learn Pali. It's not a Pali class, but you should know the exact meaning in Pali. That's important. Otherwise, you will translate ceasing, abstaining. You never know what is inside. That's why I'm reading in Pali in my own way. Then you know in English. At least when somebody says this thing in the future, you know, okay, no, it's not that. Arati means that you try to avoid evil thoughts before it happens. Now then Virati is this. Virati nama kammadwara vasena kaya vachahi viramana. Now Virati means an action that you can do when you cannot handle the evil thought. Now you could not handle them. There are a lot of a lot of times that we cannot remove our thoughts within the mind, right? Now thoughts are processing thoughts. Mind is processing those thoughts. Then they become actions, kind of physical, verbal kind of actions, right? That's the point where you can practice virati part. That is arati part in the mind. Virati part is something you can do with your actions, speech, pretty much. What does it say about virati? In the commentary, it says there are 3 types of virati in Pali. What are they? Let me read for you. Sa chesa virati nama sampatta virati. Probably I have to type it for you. That's a good one. So you know what is arati. Now this is virati. So virati has 3 parts. Okay. Sorry, I'm not writing. I'm chatting with Ali. This has to put on everyone. Virati has 3 parts. Okay, the first part is sampatta virati. Okay, this is what we're going to talk about. Sampatta virati means we call it tattaya kulaputtassa attano jatingwa kulangwa guttangwa paticca name etam patirupa. Now somebody thinks that looking at one's family background, country's law, criminal law, and then the repercussions of the penal code, probably looking at the temple or the monks that they are in touch with, probably looking at the books that they already read. Now they have a huge respect for these things, people, law, monastics, temples, and those self-created objects of respect. Now, the first part of the virati, which goes by sampatta virati, means somebody is not trying to do a bad activity, papa, because one respects one's lineage, family background, temple association, so on and so forth. That means one has own ways to self-discipline. So I would say it's a self-discipline because you are associating good people. That's why you are not going to make that happen. So sampatta virati means it's kind of a situational avoidance, because before you're going to do that, you're thinking, oh, let me see. If I do this, they will blame my family. If I had done it, I would have been in trouble. Because you have your own, moral parameters, right? Now, people think that way, right? Do some people think this way? No, they just do it. But there are people who think, I should not do this because if I do this, something will happen to my children, something will happen to my house, something will happen to my... So you have your own moral self-disciplinary parameters where you establish within you. So you are not doing the bad activity. That is called sampatta virati. Now the interesting thing here is that now this is not arati, this is virati. That means now you have gone beyond the arati part. You have come to virati part at this point. That means it has become a little bit physical or verbal. Okay, so that's what's called by sampatta virati. Then samadhana virati. What is samadhana virati? Samadhana virati. Samadhana virati means Sikkhapada samadhana vasena pavatta samadhana virati nama. That means by taking precepts, when someone takes precepts, that observance of precepts will make you a disciplined person. That also helps you not to do bad things, right? When you take 5 precept, 8 precept, that also influences you not to do a papa, akusala papa. So that's called samadana virati. See how many ways you can do this virati part. Huh? If you could not get hold of arati, now there are 3 parts of virati. You can stop that particular bad activity. Papa kamma. The third one, also very interesting, that is called samuchcheda virati nam. Yassa pavattito pabhuti kulaputto panadipata dinina karoti ariyamakka sampayutta samuchcheda virati nam. What is samuchcheda? Type it here. Anybody wants to guess what is samuchcheda? What is samuchcheda? Anybody wants to guess? No thoughts so far? Okay, samuchcheda means nibbana. That means when you attain nibbana, you have a samuchcheda. That means you totally eliminate all the kilesas. Now, this virati is connected to those arahants. Now, when somebody becomes an arahant, that arahant will never do a bad activity, papa kamma. Their discipline is called samuchcheda virati. In order for you to practice that, you need to be an arahant. So now there are 3 types of virati. Sampatta virati, that means you are trying to think about your own self-disciplinary, I would say parameters, your own ways. And then Sikkhapada virati means that you think about your precepts, whereby you are not doing that bad activity. And then Samuchcheda virati means you are not doing any bad activity because you are an arahant. Interesting, huh? That is Samuchcheda virati. Now, anybody wants to summarize this for me? What is arati? What is virati? Then I know that you correctly understood what they are. So, arati virati papa means 2 things to do with papa. What is arati? What is virati? Oh, still didn't understand what I've been explaining to you. What is arati? What is virati? Okay. Refrain and abstain. Okay, I mean, let's little bit get into explanatory stuff that I explained to you. What is arati? What is virati?
Bhante, I want to try.
Always.
Arati more on the, like just now Bhante said, avoid the evil thought. More onto the
mental level.
Mental process. Well, the virati more onto the action that we can see, like just now the sampata virati more on self-discipline, and the samadana virati more to the precept.
Great.
And finally, samuchcheda virati, I think something higher precept, which I think for the nibbana side. I mean,
that means the discipline of arahants.
Yes.
When you become an arahant, you never do anything wrong, right?
Yep.
So that's a permanent state.
All right. Yes. And I got a question, Bhante.
Yeah.
Just now, the first one, the self-discipline, is it any different with the moral shame like hiri or tapa? Is it the
sampatta virati? Yes.
All right.
Because in our life we are sort of morally obligated.
Yes.
Because of different things. But some people even don't have it because their family backgrounds are not, I'm not saying it's bad. They don't think that they have to respect them. Let's say your parents, your family, your other backgrounds, probably you probably met somebody who have studied well, you probably a reputed person, so you can't do a bad thing, you know what I mean? So those things are kind of moral obligations. So that's kind of that's the Sampatta Virati actually.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Any question about Arati, Virati, Papa? Has anyone ever understood this, this way? What is Arati and Virati? Or you just chanted Arati, Virati, Papa? No idea. How did it go? Arati, Virati, Papa. That means removing Papa from the mental level is Arati. And trying to refrain from doing Papa because of moral obligations come from your family.
Bhante, I would like to ask,
precepts.
is meditation is considered in Arati or Virati?
Meditation definitely connected to Arati because it's a mental level view. That's why we have to develop our mind. The more you develop your mind, then you are training your mind, because there are a lot of things that happen with the autopilot mode, right? We never know, but your mind likes it, right? How can you train your mind? You have to develop your mind with the good qualities, right? So that will fit onto the Arati part. Okay, any more questions? Otherwise, we can move on to the second, I would say, second Maṅgala factor here, which means it's going to be Maṅgala factor 20. Okay, Arati Virati Papa, then Majja Panacha Sanyamo. Sanyamo. Majja Panacha Sanyamo or Sanyam. So what does it mean by Sanyamo? Majjapana. What is Majjapana? Anybody wants to guess? What is Majjapana? Should I think that you have never seen that?
Intoxicant drinks.
Huh?
Intoxicant drinks.
Intoxicants. Okay, we say intoxicants.
Yeah.
But what does it mean by Majjapana Sanyamo? Sanyamo. Did Buddha teach that you, as a Buddhist, you cannot drink alcohol? A good question, right? Did Buddha tell like that? Or teach us? Anywhere in the canon? For the monastics, yes. They can't. They don't need, right? But for the lay people? It's an interesting question. Please give your thoughts. What did Buddha teach about not even alcohol, actually? We could say intoxicants. I mean, even the rice can make you intoxicated. Not even the wine or beer or whatever, cocktail, I mean, starting from anything that is a mixture of any other thing that can make you intoxicated. But here, the point is, what did Buddha teach about taking intoxicants, Majjapana? What was his view?
I think in the precept number 5.
That's a good place to start with. What does it say in that precept? Can you give it a try?
Refrain from intoxicant.
Does it mean refrain from intoxicant?
Observe.
How is the translation going for the fifth precept? Sura Meraya Majjapama Dattana Veramani Sikka. Does it mean that you cannot drink alcohol? Does it mean you cannot drink alcohol that leads to a certain problem, something? How does it go?
Trying to avoid.
Restrain.
Trying to avoid.
Trying to avoid alcohol or trying to avoid something else.
Is the word restrain, Bhante?
Okay, Sura Meraya Majjapama. Okay, what is Majjapama? Majjapama Dattana. What is Majja? And Pamad. These are the two Pali words in the fifth precept. Majja means intoxication. That comes from mother. I think you know the word called mother in Pali, M-A-D-A, mother. Mother means, let me type for you here. Intoxication. Here, mother. Sorry, it should be mother. Okay. Intoxication. And then pamada. That's the other word that can happen with the things. Pamada means say negligence or delay or something. Now the Buddha asked the lay people, not from the monk, because they are not supposed to have it because they don't need it. From the lay people, don't drink or consume any food or beverage that will lead to intoxication or negligence. Okay, that's the idea. But how did you know that so far? How did you understand? How did you think about the fifth precept so far? Thinking that alcohol is banned, then people might have never come to Buddhism, if that was the thing. But anyways, if you don't take what you call the concentrated, is it that concentrated alcohol? That's too bad. If you take that, I mean that can definitely. But I mean, if you look at the alcohol percentage of anything, there is some percentage. If you take grapes, if you take rice, that's why when somebody eating 2 plates of rice, they feel like, what happens to somebody who is eating too much of rice? They say, that is Surameya, not even drinking wine. Okay. If you eat too much, Surameya. People who don't know Pali, they translate, hey, don't drink alcohol. But they are the people who drink alcohol too much. Don't drink it. It means something very interesting. Surameya Majjapamadatthana means if somebody consumes any food or beverage to the extent of intoxication or delay or negligence, that is the breach of the fifth precept. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. But please understand that I'm not trying to encourage, hey, drink alcohol in moderation. That's not my point. I can't do that. I can't encourage you for that. You know what you're supposed to do. But here, it means that there is an extent, right? Now, if you take, what do you call, the driver's manual of any country, there is a percentage of alcohol that a driver can have. In Canada, I guess, what's the unit of that is called? BAC level, BAC level, something. They say if you are a novice driver, you can't have any alcohol, 0 alcohol. Can't drink anything. You have to be 0 alcohol and drive. But if you get the full license, and there is an extent, that means there are legal opportunities in some ways. So the point here is that rather saying don't drink alcohol, because alcohol is something that people drink for different things, not just for doing bad things, social gatherings and everything. We're trying to say in Buddhism, don't consume any food, any beverage to an extent of, what do you call? You can't make a sound judgment. Because what happens when you are intoxicated or when you are negligent, you can't make a sound judgment. Is that a problem to us? It is a problem. Let's say you go home, you have to make an important decision with your spouse or somebody, and then you can't make it because you have drunk too much. You're not sober, right? The point is that have anything in moderation. If you want to avoid the concentrated alcohol, please do so. But it is not only the concentrated alcohol, it is also other fruit too. Don't eat too much. That will make you intoxicated. Because if you eat too much rice, if you eat too much other things, then what will happen to you? You are not able to make a sound decision. You are not in the presence of your mind. Okay, that's the point. So here, let's come back to the Maṅgala Sutta's Maṅgala factor. Surameya has been taken in a different way. Now, this is very interesting to those, actually, this is something I've been sharing with many, to talk about the real meaning of Surameya Majjapamadatthana in a textual reference. Now, for those who merely translate the Suramere to not to drink any alcohol, but this is the real answer given by Maṅgala Sutta. Maṅgala Sutta says, Majjapana cha sanyamo. That means not drinking alcohol. Drink alcohol, drink, you should have a calmness. You should have the balance. Sanyamo means calmness. That means not drinking. That means not drinking alcohol. That means you should know the point of intoxication, the point where you get intoxicated. If you get intoxicated, that means it's a problem. Now, take a look at this scenario. You go to a party. It's sometimes difficult to avoid social drinks, right? It's difficult. You can't engage with them, even for a normal social party. So the thing is that the people who don't understand this drinking thing, they're going to drink too much. And then there is going to be a avamangala thing, not a mangala stuff. But there are people who know the limit, and they know the limit, and then they stop drinking. That is concentrated alcohol. What about rice and other things? They also know the limit. Okay, I'm enough. I'm good. I don't want to eat too much. They know. Those people always have a mangala. Look at the people who eat too much, getting diabetes and other problems. Because they can't have enough of the chocolates. They can't have enough of the cakes. They can't have enough of other things. So they want to eat. That is also a problem with the intoxication. So intoxication comes from sugar, right? Mostly. Fermentation and sugar. So it can come from different ways. So here it means, now the translation, like modern translations go by to refrain from intoxicants. But the Pali comment, let's take a look at a Pali commentary. The Pali commentary says, Majjapana sanyamo nama Pubbe Vutta Suramere Majjapama Dattana Veramanyat Evetang Adu. That means the same precepts that we know in the 5 precepts, as Hema said. Now, what does someone who drunk always face or do to other people? Yasmapana Majjapai Attang na janati. Oh, when you are drunk, you don't know what's the meaning. What's the meaning of your life? Dhammang na jan. You don't know the Dhamma at that point. Even though you know Dhamma by knowledge, at that point you don't know how to practice it. Matu antarayang karoti. When you're drunk, you may hurt your mom, attack. You may pose a risk to your mother. Pitu, you might attack your father. Buddha pacheka Buddha tathagata savakanam piyantarayang karoti. You might attack the Buddha pacheka Buddhara. Why these people are given in particular here? If you do any bad thing to your mother, father, and pacheka Buddhas, Arahantas, you are creating a huge amount of papa karma. That can happen when you are drunk. That's why their names have been given in particular. Not even that. Ditteva dhamme garahang samparaye dukkati. When you are drunk, people, do people speak good of you, or do people speak bad of you when you are drunk? People not talk good about you at that point. And samparaye dukkati, your future life will be in danger, right? So that's why it is said that you should have a balance, moderation, and you know the level of your intoxication. So better not to get intoxicated. Once you get intoxicated, then what will happen to you is that you are late in many things. Delay is a big problem, right? Actually, the next Maṅgala factor is about delay, so I'm going to leave it to that one. Any questions about this second Maṅgala factor here today? Arati Virati Papa is the first one. Majjapana is the second one. How did you learn about the 5th precept so far until I explained to you today? How did you understand it so far? Not drinking alcohol? Is that what you understood? But what did you learn today?
Can I try? Can I try?
Yeah, please.
What I learned today is that you are allowed to drink if you know the level of drinking, not going to hurt people, or you have to maintain not overdrink or get drunk.
Yeah,
You are allowed to drink, maybe
that's the bitter truth. But if you're gonna explain that, okay, you are allowed to drink, that might cause a problem here. So that's a bit of a problem. So I might say, because even if I say 100 words about Sura Meria, if you are a person who wants to drink, you're gonna drink. You won't stop it. So the point is looking at the reality and then looking at the Dhamma, right? This teaching. So here it means that every culture has a way of looking at all these things, regardless of Indian culture, that we know all these things. So the thing is that you know the level of intoxication. Is the level of intoxication of each one is same or different?
different.
That's a good point. So that means when that level of intoxication happens, right, then the delay will come to that particular person. So the delay will not come to the two people at the same time. A mother will not come. You want to say anything else, Te?
No. I thought we are allowed to drink, but up to a certain level.
No, you should know your intoxication. That's what we have to understand here. Everybody has their not even drinking alcohol here. This, as I told you, this applies to all the food, all the beverages. Now let's say, for instance, if you take a mango drink, that you're gonna drink too much. On one side, you're getting diabetes at a certain point. On the other side, because you are consuming too much sugar, it will create you kind of a slowness in your brain. So then you will be, in a certain ways, drunk, intoxicated. So it's not only the common alcohol, the concentrated alcohol that we had to talk here. It is kind of a broad range of food and beverages.
So are you allowed to do social drinking?
I mean, Buddha doesn't have anything to say about it because people have been drinking since then, right? So the point is the intoxication, because intoxication matters, right? Now, when we talk about that story about Santati, do you know about Santati stories? There was a guy called, I mean, don't take it wrong. I mean, this is a very complicated story, but don't think that drinking is allowed in this kind of a way, okay? When I'm giving you the caution and then when I explain to you. There was a minister called Santati to a king. I guess this was King Kosala or somebody, I don't know exactly, probably King Kosala. So one day, this minister Santati was able to execute a plan given by the king. So the king was very happy. The king said, what do you want? The minister Santati said, there is a woman that I like very much in the harem, the king's harem. I want to be with her. Okay, do that for you. And then now he was going on the royal elephant at this point. So the Buddha and Venerable Ananda and all these monks also they are going somewhere else too. So now Santati going nearby, and then the Buddha asks his Arahant, Bhante Ananda, do you see the man on the elephant? Oh yeah. That drunk guy, yeah, Santati. We heard that he has done something good for the king, and so I think he is going somewhere this way. You know what? This guy is gonna attain Nibbana tonight. Really? So Ananda, Bhante, really? This drunk guy going to see a woman tonight? Gonna attain Nibbana? Yeah. Just look at it in your own eyes tonight. What's gonna happen? Actually, what happened was that he went to the harem. He was with that woman. That woman got a heart attack that night. He was witnessing everything. She was very lovely to him. But he saw that how she got it and she died on the spot. He saw all that. So he was thinking the attachment and the detachment and the impermanence right on the spot. So he started thinking, he wasn't a bad guy, not an unwise guy. Everybody has karma. I'm not trying to generalize, but the truth wise, he understood the most desired thing, in this case, this a woman, that he's been desiring for many years. He saw what's happening to her, this beauty and then the impermanence, and his mind was developed at that point, and he was able to attain Nibbana. Now, those folks who don't understand the real theory think, okay, I can drink alcohol and go somewhere, attain Nibbana. What's the problem? Well, that's a misdirected way of thinking. Different people are different. I'm telling you, these are different stories. That means everybody has a chance in Buddhism. Don't say it. Even Angulimala got a chance. Every person. But if you are a good person, you have a better chance. Okay. So here what we have to understand is drinking, eating any food or beverage to a level of intoxication is bad. That's the breach of the precept. And okay, I think somebody sent something to chat. Bhante, if alcohol as in medicine is allowed, right? Okay, that's a good question. Now, when you have a sore throat, I better put it this way. If you have a cough, doctors normally prescribe you, I mean, if you don't go to a doctor, you can buy an over-the-counter medication, but what if that doesn't help you? And you're gonna see a doctor. Doctor writes something what are the syrups that doctors prescribe for those people who have a cough? Can't remember. Oh, codeine-based syrups. You know, if you are a medical person who knows the codeine. Codeine is a contraband. I think it's a prohibited kind of a thing. It's an alcoholic thing. So what happens when you take codeine-based syrup? They say you don't need to drive. Don't drive. Don't do machine operations. Sleep. Because when you take it, that medication activates and then try to overcome all these bacteria or virus while putting you to sleep. Otherwise, it can't operate. Then somebody might think, with the Panadipata, why should I let medications kill the bacteria or virus? Like the Jains. In Buddhism, we are not extreme. You know, your life is more important than the bacteria, right? You want to let, yeah. So the thing here is that then codeine is alcoholic, but you are taking it not to get intoxicated. You may be medically intoxicated, but for a reason. But here, Suramere means that you are not taking any food or beverage to purposely make you intoxicated, to purposely, intentionally make you intoxicated so that you are delaying your Dhamma, so that you are not practicing Dhamma. That really bothers you. So the Maṅgala factor here is that if I tell you the truth, you should have a calmness. I would say a balance with your food and beverages. Actually, it's a very good thing. Now monks are not supposed to eat after 12. Why is it? The Buddha said, now in today's world, fasting is a good thing, right? If you don't eat too much, it helps your body, right? You know, I mean, functions well. You don't get, I would say, into different problems, different diseases, right? So they all have a meaning, actually. Okay, so
Bhante, can I check? How about those who take drugs or smoking? Those addiction, is it under this category or just food?
Those people who taking drugs and what do you call smoking, they take it.
Addiction.
Yeah, that's an addiction. So addiction means that you are taking it purposely. To find some happiness. Now there are people who are consuming on drugs to feel happy, like those substances, ecstasy. That directly breaches the fifth precept.
But is it under this category, under intoxicant?
Yeah, because you
No.
get into, when you are on drugs, definitely you are not in the right mind, right? But the thing is that, say for instance, you go to a doctor because you have a knee pain here, probably you have other pain, but doctor gives you a medication with a substance, I would say heroin or something. I mean, they have their own prescriptions. Then most of these are painkillers, I guess. These drugs, they are painkillers. But there are people who like addicting to those things and then to feel a kind of a happiness. But that's wrong, because you know that this is not the real happiness. This is something really artificial. That's definitely a breach of Suramere. Okay. Any more question about this second Maṅgala factor?
And then how about the children playing too much game and some adults seeing too much mobile phone on social media? Is it considered intoxicant itself?
A very good question. But here it specifically says about Suramere, about some food kind of stuff. So I think that then adds to the connects to the bigger topic of moderation. But here it is only the moderation about the food and beverages. Because if you're going to narrow down to that big topic of moderation, then we have to talk everything, not even games, internet, it's a big topic. But here, at least somebody is going to be a person who can even make a sound judgment.
Okay.
Actually, those people who are into games, they eat too much. They eat, and then play. Probably there is Suramere in a certain way. I mean, I'm not talking about, children, right? Because you are located in one place and you never know how much you eat. Something that happens to people who work from home, right? When you go to work, you don't eat that much. But when you are home, you go open the fridge, eat something, come back, eat something, come back. You're getting sick, right? So there are some connections to this in a certain way. Okay. The third Maṅgala factor here, that means it's going to be number 21, is Appamadocha Dhammesu. Very interesting Maṅgala factor here. Now we know Dhammesu. Dhammesu means in the teaching of the Buddha. Appamada means, what is Appamada? Diligence. There are a lot of other words. I would say not being delayed, diligence, not negligent. Now, I want to pay your attention to one couple suttas in Majjhima Nikaya. I can't remember the numbers. Chula Hatti Padopma Sutta and Maha Hatti Padopma Sutta. Probably this could be, let me see. It's going to be Sutta number Majjhima Nikaya 28 is Maha Hatti Padopma Sutta, and Majjhima Nikaya 26, I think 26 is the 27 is the Chula Hatti Padopma Sutta. Now both these suttas talk about an elephant. How many of you like elephants? Okay. Everybody likes elephants. So the interesting thing is here that the simile is an elephant, but not just the elephant's footprint. The Buddha says when somebody who is taking care of elephants going into the jungle, probably somebody who knows this, trying to maintain a way of observing the elephants in the forest. Now, when there is one elephant, this guy should not decide that there is no big large elephant in the forest anymore from this point. Because there are many elephants, with different sizes that live in the forest. In the same way, the Buddha says, the footprint of any other wild animal in the jungle can be fit onto the footprint of the elephant. Is it possible? You think about the foot of any other animal and then the size of the foot of an elephant. Which one is bigger? Of course, elephant is the largest one, right? So all the feet of other animals can be put inside the size of the footprint of the elephant. In the same way, the Buddha says, appamada is like the footprint of the elephant in Buddhism. That means all the other qualities, virtues, dana, sila, bhavana, everything is happening, functioning inside appamada. What a beautiful statement is this. All the other virtues in Buddhism, they all operate, function within appamada. That's why the Buddha, before he passed away, he said something to the monks. What did he say? His last advice. Can you remember? What was his advice? Last advice.
Something like, let the Dhamma be your teacher.
That was something that he gave just before he passed away, but not the last one, not the last advice. Yeah, Ariana?
Anyone who sees Dharma sees me.
Yeah, that's something similar to what Hema said. So at that point, what was his last words, last statement, just before he passed away? It is said that once he said that, he passed away. Somebody saying, strive heedfully. Can you tell me in Pali? Let's talk about Pali.
Oh, yes.
Vaya Dhamma Sankara Appamadena Sampadeta, and he passed away. Okay, Vaya Dhamma Sankara, all the Sankaras are subject to change. Because of that, Appamadena Sampadeta. That means strive on with heedfulness. That means do everything with appamada. That means dana, sila, bhavana, everything we have to do with appamada. That's the simile in this sutta. So what you have to understand here is that appamada is the largest, the biggest quality in Buddhism. If you don't have appamada, you will never practice any other thing. Now think about the folks who only do dana, sila, bhavana, who never practice appamada. They do some dana, they go back. They will do it after 1 year, 2 years, because they don't have appamada. Those folks who meditate only in 1 retreat, 2 retreat, couple days, they stop it. They will not do it for long term, right? So that means you have to start with appamada and then to carry other qualities. Appamada should be always with you. Diligence. Now, let's take a look at one very famous stanza that changed the mind of one emperor in the world. There are not a lot of emperors that we know in India. One was Harsha in 6th century, but the other one was the famous one, Ashoka. So you know how Ashoka was changed from the Chanda Ashoka, the evil Ashoka, into the Dharma Ashoka, the better one, better Ashoka. He was changed by one stanza given by one monk, Nigroda. What happened? One day after he finished his, this victory over the whole, not only just India, all over this Indian continent, but he felt sad about something. He understood that he killed many people and he made many people wounded, not happy. So he was just looking over the window. He saw one small monk, 7 years old, was just walking, there downstairs. And then he asked that monk. Somebody was sent to bring the monk. So the monk came, Nigroda, and he was looking at a place to sit down. He didn't see any place. He sat down on the throne. Nobody does that. And then he gave a short Dhamma talk with one stanza, the famous stanza, which changed the king's mind, which then helped Ashoka to send 9 missionaries to countries, even Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka would not have got Buddhism without Ashoka, without this monk approaching the king. What was the stanza? Appamadu amatapada, Pamado Machuno Pada, Appamatta Namiyanti, Ye Pamatta Yatamata. Reference is the second chapter, first verse of second chapter of Dhammapada. Appamado Amatapada. Not being delayed or not being late is something that takes you to immorality. All right? Can we be immoral? Can we be immoral? Not immoral. What's the proper word? Deathlessness. That's the proper word. When you have appamada, that leads you to deathlessness. Now we know that we are supposed to die. Then here there is a word called deathless. We don't die. The Buddha said, we die. Because of that, try not to die, but not physically, mentally. Now, actually, these noble people like Buddha, have they really died? No, they physically dead, but mentally they are not dead. That's why we still follow their teachings. That's why how many people think about the Buddha since the morning until night, even in the dream, they are still living with us. But those folks who were late, although they are living with us, they already seem dead. Appamado amatapada. When you not delay, that will take you to deathlessness. Pamado machuno pada. If you are late for the Dhamma, here Dhamma actually, then that means you are dead. Appamatta namiyati. Those folks who have not been late for practicing Dhamma will never die. But those folks, ye pamatta yatamata. But those folks who have late in doing Dhamma, although they're living with us, although they're living in the world, but they are just as the people who dead already, because they are not doing anything with their practices of Dhamma. Now the thing here is, the third Maṅgala factor here is that appamado cha dhamme. So when you are practicing Dhamma with diligence, that is a Maṅgala factor. That's going to be the 21. Let me see in the commentary, what can we learn from them? Kusalesu dhammesu appamadu. What is appamadu? Now, when we say don't be late in Dhamma, that means, what is Dhamma there? Kusala Dhamma. That means doing 10 kusala. Never be late in doing 10 kusala. I think we already discussed that. Aliana also sent that to the Sutta discussion group. Not killing, we'll take this way. Taking care of beings, taking care of other people, stuff, properties, behaving well, speaking the truth, trying to unite other people, not to break them, and then trying to speak very good words to other people, trying to speak only the important, meaningful words, and trying to be very generous, and trying to have very good thoughts to protect every being in this universe, and then trying to have samahita. These are the kusala. So these are the 10 things where you have to be very diligent. Never be late for these 10. If you are late, you will miss out on this Maṅgala factor. If you are not late for doing these 10, you have this Maṅgala factor. I think this is the most important one, because it's appamada. Is it very easy for us to do kusala all the time? I mean, let's be practical, honest, be honest about it, right? We can talk anything, right? It's here and said. Is it very easy, or should we have a different mentality for all these? Like a turbo mood, huh? I had to have a turbo mood for, for doing all these things. I mean, is it practical for us to be very kusala minded all the time? Or why akusala takes us over? Why is it? What is your observation? Because you're also practicing Dhamma in your own way. What have you understood as the stumbling block for not practicing kusala thoughts, not you. You know that this is bad, but something is taking you over. That's something we have to observe. You know this is bad, this is wrong, but something is taking you over. Yeah, what did you say? Greed, yes. That is the fundamental reason. Why is it? The Buddha said in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, suffering arises because of tanha. What is tanha? The bigger version of lobha, greed. Because we have different reasons to, we make them to be reasonable, but they are not reasonable. We try to make them reasonable. Actually, it's the greed, and then greed will become tanha at the end. That's the reason. So that means what we need to do, although we have to work with people, although you have to earn money, although you have to be with other people, always try to understand, try to tell your mind, I need to cut down on my greed every day. At least a bit, at least a little bit. You may not be able to do it totally. That's very impractical. I want to cut down on this because I can be attached to this and that. I try to. I'm gonna be with them. I'm gonna be using them. But in my mind, I know that I need to lower my desires and greed. How to do that? You have to tell me.
I need your guidance, Bhante.
What do you think about it? We'll talk like that way. Let's be very practical. What is your thinking? Because you might probably know something, but you don't think...
we always know is wrong, but your mind just wonder, the monkey mind makes you not doing the right thing. Because it's your mind that is causing all this problem.
Okay. The answer to that question...
When we want to calm down, or when we say, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be... We are telling it, but we are not practicing it. That is the problem. That is the biggest problem.
Okay, let's look at the solution for this, what we could do. Actually, we have to look at why we are greedy. Why? This is something we have to look at. Now, if you take one reason for being greedy, it could probably be money. Have you ever thought that we need money, but to the level that we want to live? This money is one thing. And then other stuff, people, and what else? You have your own objects for your greed. So if you lower these objects, at least a little day by day, you will find peace. You will find this positivity, right? And the Buddha also encouraged us to practice something for this as well.
Let go.
Yeah, I mean, let go with a big concept. What is it called? Now we know that tanha is the problem here. Tanha is what takes us to, greed is what takes us to this daily suffering. I mean, this, non-manageable level. And then the Buddha said something to practice in order to overcome that.
Meditate.
What is it?
Meditate.
Eightfold Noble Path. Right view, right intention. This is something we can practice. If you practice these 8 simultaneously as a package, right? Then it will help you at least to stay on to the positivity. So that's how we're going to make it a practical reality. Otherwise, it's going to be a book reality. Textual book reality. Book realities are not always happening, especially when it comes to our evil side. I'm not saying we are evil, but when it comes to this, what you call the side of our negativity, it can give us a very big time. So when you try to be simple, that's another thing. Try to be simple as you can, the way you can, and then practice the Noble Eightfold Path. That will help you to spot on the problem. Now we understand it a little bit after. Oh, I should not have been that greedy for that particular thing. We know it a little late. Now it's been too late. Then we could have prevented a lot of things. If we have that mentality outright. Okay, so any questions about today's Maṅgala factors from 19 to 21? 19, 20, 21? Sister Theo, you have any questions? You are the one who is least talking today. Yeah, the least two. You hear us? We can't hear you. Probably have to unmute your mic, I guess. Yeah. You have any questions?
No.
Okay. We know a monk who was actually trying to clear the immigration in a Western country, where he was actually putting yes to all the questions. Do you bring something? Yes, 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 yes. And the immigration asks, you know, you have brought all the bad things to the country. Yes, 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 yes. And he was questioned. He said in Sinhala, I think yes is better than no, you know. Yes, yes is better than no. Okay, any questions about other Maṅgala factors we've been doing so far until today? Because today we covered 19, 20, 21, because we have done from 1 to 18. Or maybe other questions. Let's take one more minute. Any other questions about in general?
Yeah, I want to sidetrack a bit. If let's say at your very last moment of death, before you die, right? You know you're going to die. What should be in your mind?
That's a hard question, especially with the reality. I don't know many people know that they're going to die, because it's kind of a doom thing to many. Unless the doctor says, hey, 2 minutes, I'm going to see there is a stop. What do you call? There's a counter time is being counted. Otherwise, you never know. Okay. Before I jump into your question, I'm saying to people, never ever think about how to die properly, because we never know when we're going to die.
No, but if like you are in the hospital bed, you're in the hospital, you are being told that you will be passing on. So what should be in your thoughts?
Okay, let's say that you are bedridden in a hospital. I see you, probably in a palliative care. Then you are doomed there. Let's say you're going to die in a couple of days. If this is the situation, then practice the 4 Satipatthana. 4 Satipatthanas. There are 4 Satipatthanas, the Buddha said. In particular, you need to practice the Vedana-Anupassana. What's the normal grumbling that many people make when they're going to die? They feel, okay, I might be very painful. I have a pain here, 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 everywhere. So then what will happen? I'm trying to hate myself, because pain. Then finally, with the Vedana-Anupassana, if you practice mindfulness on feelings, you get to a point. This feeling of pain also impermanent. It will be here a little bit, it will go somewhere, probably it will be reappearing, but it is also changing. You come to a point that pain is impermanent. But before that thinking, till you practiced Vedana-Anupassana, you thought that pain is permanent. That is where you think, I have a pain in my neck, I have a pain in my hand. You take it permanently. So that's something you could do. Let's say, I don't know, I mean, the situation, condition, probably you might be incapacitated, incapable of thinking a lot of things. That happens, right? Let's say that you're going to die, unless you have a cancer, you have a dementia issue, you may have, what do you call other things? Like you may have a stroke, you never know what to do at that point. That's why I'm saying, for the general people, don't think what to do when you die. Think what you should do every moment. Because death is a moment that you will face somewhere along the process. That's for the general folks. But for somebody who is waiting for the death, doomed in a hospital bed or something, they can more focus on the four satipatthanas, in particular the Vedanānupassana. Mindfulness on the Vedana, pain of the body. Not hating the pain. Try to understand the pain. This pain is not me. Because I hold the body, I have the pain. Now when I die, I'm not here. I'm gonna exit from the body. So those people who are trying to be very unhappy are those people who try to hate the body. Why I got this pain? Before this, I was very good. I had no pain, right? So this thinking, developing this thinking.
Thank you.
Makes
Thank you.
sense?
Yeah.
But don't think that I should do this when I'm gonna die, because we never know the time I'm gonna die. But on the side, just think, if you happen to face a situation like I said, then the four satipatthanas, especially the Vedanānupassana.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We'll take one more minute. If not, we're going to go to the transference of minutes after that. Okay, I think there are no more questions. So let's move on to the transference of merits at this point. So let's reflect upon all the good karmas we've been accumulating so far. First of all, we all saluted the Buddha, paid homage to the Buddha, and then we discuss today the Maṅgala factors from 19 to 21 and other relevant topics regarding these three. So this is the perfect time to then transfer good karmas to the departed people who passed away in the name of all of you. May all the good karmas be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of you. Your people who passed away in this life and the people who passed away in previous lives. May they be able to receive all these good karmas. Suppose they are already reborn in a bad state of life, may they be able to utilize all these good karmas to switch to a better rebirth. If they are in a better place, may they be able to improve their life standards to an extent where they can practice the Dhamma. Finally, may they be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's recite the stanzas. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyate. Idang me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyate. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyate. Also, we are not forgetting about the Devas, Nagas, Mahitikas. May all the good karmas be shared by all the Devas, Nagas, Mahitikas, and protect all of you, the Chief Reverend and other monks and all the devotees in your temple and all of them who are participating far and wide. Everybody's family, your parents, your spouse, children, grandchildren, everybody that we know, we don't know. May all they be protected by the Devas, Nagas, and Mahitikas for good health, safety, quality of life, and all the prosperity. May all the Devas and Nagas and Mahitikas also be well and happy. May they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's recite the stanzas. Ittavatacha ammehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha cha bummattha deva naga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tuluka sasana. Akasattha cha bummattha deva naga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tulesana. Akasattha cha bummattha deva naga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tumang paranti. Finally, let's make a great wish. May all the good karmas that we've been accumulating in all these ways be helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, may all sufferings go away. May all the fears go away. May all the sicknesses go away. May all you be safe and prosperous and happy at all times. Now I'm going to bless you with a couple more stanzas. Please receive the blessings. Abhivadana siris nichang vadha pachayino chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvanu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me veche ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a very good night. Till we see next Friday for the next stanza.
Good night.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night.
Bhante.
Thank you.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
Have a
night.
good night. Take care.
Thank you very
Good
much, Bhante, for the wonderful discussion. For those who wishes to review or watch the recorded video of the Sutta discussion, can check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Clan Facebook page and YouTube channel. Kindly like, subscribe, and share with those who are interested in learning Dharma. The registration for the Zoom class is still open. Please check on our last Facebook post for more information and the application form. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a pleasant night. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
very much,
Aliana, for
Bhante.
everything, and thank you, Lim, too. Thank you, everyone.